Hey y'all, I'm James Wright and welcome to my shop. A couple weeks ago I did a video about possible new plane parts and really souping up a plane to make it special. And we were absolutely blown away by the response for it. So today we're going to be talking about what exactly we're going to be doing, and I'm going to be bringing you along the ride for what all goes into the manufacturing and methodology for getting these to market. So first off, I have to answer a few questions about Jeffrey and myself. Jeffrey Warskowski, he is the maker of Reed planes. And here's a few pictures of some of the things that he has made in the past. He makes phenomenal quality planes and does a just blown up job on it. And it's his goal to retire and make planes for the fun of it and a living. And part of that is starting off with making replacement parts and then eventually having a name that he can sell planes a little bit more commonly. So you will be seeing him far more in the hand tool world. He does just incredible work. So he is the one who is going to be doing the manufacturing, the quality control, the ordering of the parts, and a lot of the machining and the actual work on them will be done by Jeffrey. I'm here just as the guy with a website and the shipping system, so I can handle all of the paperwork, the shipping, the organization, and actually getting these out to people. So that is how the two of us are working together. I hope that answers a few of those questions. As to all the possible products, the wedges for the bedding angle, the new knobs and fine adjustment screws, the yokes that have the thickness adjuster on it. Originally the idea was one or two of them, but there was so much of people saying that they wanted it for all of them that we're going to actually look at producing all of them, whether you can purchase them separately or as a kit. We're going to be playing with that. Okay, me from the future, I'm just going to break in here and say there is a form down below. If you have any interest in these at all, please go fill that out. It will help us out, as well as there is a place where you can fit your email address on there, so if you want to be notified when these become available, you can get that. If you want to see more about what I'm talking about, go and look at the video from a couple weeks ago. There's a link to it down below, and I actually show what all of these are and how they would go into the plane. They're still kind of in the beta testing, and we're working through a few things, but hopefully they'll be coming to market here very soon. So let me walk you through some of the specifics. The wedges, these are kind of the one we don't quite know. They're basically cast, except for they need to be tapped, and there's a few other things that go into them. These we're probably looking at somewhere around $30 or so for the set, but we're not sure if we want to sell them individually or separate. And the pricing on this, we're not 100% sure. It depends on how many of them we get cast and produced. For the fine screw and knob, we're probably going to be somewhere around the $20 to $30 range for a set of screw and knob. Again, we don't know. It depends on how much they go into it. These actually require a decent amount of machining. Right now the idea is to have these not hollow but full. That gives them a little bit more weight. The knurling on the outside to be fairly aggressive. And then to have these, you actually have to individually turn these with two different threads. They're a decent amount of work on those. We're looking at sizing. These are the two originals, the older ones and the newer Stanleys, but we're thinking about going with this middle size. The large one here, that doesn't work for most number 4s and smaller, whereas this one will work for most number 4s and other. It's a little bit larger than the larger Stanley wheel, which gives you a little bit more force on it. So we're probably going to be going with that size, though we are experimenting with casting them and knurling. The casting, though, so far has given us some problems on how that's all coming out. We'll find out more about that. The next item then is the yoke, and we're thinking about offering that both with the split and without it, as well as a pre-drilled hole and one without a hole. And I think a lot of people think that drilling the hole would be something that's very scary. However, this one I freehand drilled with a regular brace and bit, and it came out really well. And there's a couple other options that make it very useful to drill it yourself. Number one, quite a few people have the problem that sometimes the knob needs to be all the way in order to get it where they want it to be, or with it all the way in, it doesn't quite pull it back far enough. What this will allow you to do if you drill the hole yourself is you can actually set the knob where you want it to be, put the yoke in place, put the iron on top, and then dimple it with the mark on there. Then drill your hole exactly where you want it to be to fit your plane. And so sometimes getting it without the hole can be very beneficial because you can make small adjustments. So you can put this knob where you want it to be. If the knob is back too far or forward too far, you can adjust it to be exactly where you want it to be. So we want to know from you guys, do you want it with the slot or without the slot, with the hole, without the hole, what size of this, are you interested in the wedges, and so on. There are just a lot of things that we're working through and trying to figure out how do we produce all these to sell them. Now, the other big thing we want to do is we want to figure out the pricing on it, but that depends on how many we order and how many we make. If we make a lot of them, we can make the per price a lot cheaper. And then if we make too many, then we're stuck with it and we spent a lot of money on this, and that's just not something we want to do. So we're trying to find that butter zone. But for that, we need your help. There is a form with a link to it down below, and on that form, it asks what of these are you actually interested in, and which ones would you be interested in at a price range of $20 to $30 for a wedge, somewhere around $20 to $30 for a screw, somewhere around $10 or so, depending upon how many of these we can get for that, or getting a whole set with multiples of these and knobs and screws, somewhere around $100-ish, or maybe $150. It depends on how many we can order. So prices are still kind of up in the air, but if you are interested in getting these, please let us know so we can kind of figure out how many we can order reasonably. So all that being said, we have a lot of work ahead. Jeff is working through figuring out where can he get these casts and who can make them and how do they come together. And then I'm figuring out the shipping logistics and the packaging and things like that. And then, how many? Are we going to be selling 10 of them, or are we going to be selling 1,000 of them? Don't know. If we sell 1,000 of them, we can get a decent price on it. If we're selling 10 of them, then they're going to be pretty expensive. So we want to know from you. Please fill out that form below, and it will let us know, where can we put these and what the pricing on them. If you want to know when they become available, fill out the form as well, put your email address in there, and you'll be the first to know when they actually become available. Because if we order too few and they sell out instantly, you want to be able to purchase them other than waiting for the next stock to come around sometime in the future. Who knows what the future is going to hold? So normally at this point I say, let me know your thoughts, comments, ideas, and snide remarks down below, in which case, yeah, go for that. But there is a spot for that in the forum. If you do have any thoughts or things you want the two of us to see, let us know that. We are still in the figuring this out phase, and we've got a little ways to go. But these are going to be coming to market, and I'm looking forward to this because you can really make a rather inexpensive, cheap plane into something that can do some really cool things with a few modifications. So let's actually see where this goes, and we'll let you know in the future. So on that note, I want to say a huge thank you to all the patrons on Patreon, members here on the channel, and everyone else who helps keep this channel going. Thank you. Without you guys, this channel wouldn't exist. I think that'll do it for today. And until next time, have a wonderful day. What? No joke? No, honestly, in reality, these are coming to market. No joke.